Troyland, we're here with my new good buddy and the ultimate man crush, Matt Morrow. I tell you what, we've had so much fun the last few days.
Yes, we have.
And this guy, Matt, he's such a funny guy, down to earth. And I got to tell you guys, for those of you who don't know me, I live in Portland, Maine, and he's got me pretty much convinced to move to Las Vegas. He's like the mayor of Vegas.
I couldn't think of a better place to live. I mean, you know, we have that thing going on because according to neuro-linguistic programming and all things Tony Robbins, we're in rapport because we have identical physiology with the legs crossed. You see that? That means we're in rapport. All right, that's an MLM thing I learned in 1989. Matching and mirroring. This is high-level training stuff we're going to do here,
So
Troy.
you're already training without everyone even knowing about it.
And watch, I can do pacing and leading. Like if I go like this, you're going to feel almost a compulsion to uncross your legs. Do you see that? And if I go like this, then you'd probably do that too.
I got you.
Yeah, and that's what you do with your prospects. You see, you can pace them and lead them, matching and mirroring. There's a book called Turning Frogs into Princes that I recommend you read.
Turning Frogs into Princes. Tell me about
by
that.
Bandler and Grinder. I don't know. It's just I don't even know what I'm saying. I just noticed we had our legs crossed the same way, and it was awkward, so I brought it up. One of the things I found in MLM is that a lot of the people are just so full of shart. And you know,
you can say, be you. I want Matt. I want them to be you.
Yeah, people are full of shit.
Okay.
And they're just not themselves, and that's hard to do on camera. Like it's always like, oh, there's a camera on me. But one of the things that I've always just done is I've just always been myself. And they say your vibe attracts your tribe, so you always end up getting people that are like you anyway. And if you're not yourself, you're going to attract the wrong people, and then the dynamic's not going to be right, and your team's going to fall apart anyway. So one of the things I think that has always been fun is just be yourself, have fun. Just like we met just a couple days ago. Had an absolute blast, become friends. That's network marketing. You know, reality is if you ask the people at GoPro tomorrow, say, hey, how many of you were brought into this business by a friend or somebody that you met that you liked? Almost every hand is going to go up. You know, very few people, despite all the panels and all the nonsense that you're going to hear, very few people were brought in from an ad, from something like that. I mean, they're almost all brought in by a friend or someone that they like. So the key is to make more friends and to make a friend, then make a sale. And that's the key to success in network marketing. Just have fun, make friends, and then your friends are going to want to be with you. So if you have a project that you're excited about, then they're going to want to join you.
Right.
That's all we can wrap. That's it. That's all you got to know, people.
That's all you got to know. We can wrap it. We're not letting him off the hot seat though yet because but you've had so much success in life and you've done a lot of different business ventures. You have a lot of business background. Where do you see this industry going? What do you like about the industry? What is that attracted you to this industry in the first place?
Well, that's a very good question, Troy. Let me think about that for a moment and look into the camera. Well, one, I wanted to be a movie star, and I mean, a lot of, Brad Pitt and I, for example, have a similar physique. We're born in about the same year, and I always wanted to be a movie star and a comedian and so forth, and I did that for a few years, but it wasn't as easy as I had hoped. There was actually work involved, and so I was pretty much broke at 26 years old, and someone invited me to a meeting, and I said, oh, that's a pyramid scam, like your typical knee-jerk reaction, following the herd, hating on network marketing but knowing nothing about it. The reality, what I love about network marketing is that it's the only business that you can start with no money, no employees, no headaches, no overhead. I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir for the most part, but the reality is if people understand network marketing, if you can get them to shut up long enough and just be, quiet all the nonsense chatter that comes to their mind, it's a pyramid, it's a scam, it's this, it's that. It's the purest form of capitalism, and it's absolutely brilliant. And I started with no money, no contacts, no resources, just started bringing people to events, and next thing I knew, I was making more money than I ever made in my life within a few short months. Now, most people fail at network marketing is the sad reality. And the reason they fail is because no one likes them. And that's difficult. The difficult reality. But that's kind of true though. Like some people come in and they go, well, this is network marketing, doesn't work. It's like, no, you're just awful to be around and nobody wants to join you. I mean, you're the kind of person that has bad breath and wants to tell secrets. I mean, floss for God's sakes. And I mean, a lot of people need coaching, but I mean, if you're a reasonably decent person and people like you, all you got to do is get them to come to the meeting and then feel the vibe. I mean, in your program right now. Like your enthusiasm about the HGH, man. Like, I mean, this morning I woke up, I was rubbing that crap all over my arms. Like your enthusiasm is contagious, and people want to be around that positive vibe. People want to laugh. People want to have fun. A lot of people, I forget, it was like Thoreau, Austin would probably know, but so he said most people lead lives of quiet desperation. They're dying for something like network marketing to come in. What's network marketing? Time freedom, financial freedom, travel the world with your friends, help people, get paid to do so. God, that sounds terrible. Don't sign me up for that. I might have to talk to my neighbors. It's like, yeah, well, you should probably talk to them before so they don't seem weird going talk about a biz op. I don't know. Most people just do network marketing wrong. It's the simplest, easiest, most pure form of capitalism. I love it. I'm a fan. I've been doing it for almost 30 years. I know I only look about 29, but actually it started when I was 26. I'm 55 now, and I just love it. I think it's the best way to get started in business. And most people, even people that come into network marketing and have failed, I've watched them learn the skills, the personal development, and that they get involved in. Because like my first exposure to Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, Brian Tracy, all those people never even knew what personal development was. When I worked at the bank right out of college, they didn't tell you about personal development. They told you be on time, you have 2 weeks vacation, your life is now officially hell. That's what I learned in corporate America. Here I learned personal development. I've had friends that started in network marketing, maybe he did okay or didn't do so great, but they started learning personal development. One of my friends went on to sell a company for $2.7 billion in a traditional business because of the skills he learned in network marketing is how he was able to build the sales.
Wow, I tell you what, you're so darn sincere. I mean,
thank you.
You can't have a funner guy than you.
It takes one to know one.
I'm listening to all this advice, this entrepreneurship advice. I wish I could have had a camera yesterday when we were going around because we just had so much fun. And it's sometimes not the best answers you're getting, but it's the best questions. You ask the best questions of anyone I've ever met in my life. When we're going around meeting from people to people, because you're trying to convince me to move out here, which isn't going to be that hard of a job, right?
I mean, when you're convinced,
I already got my buddy, right?
Yeah.
But the questions you ask some of the best questions I've ever heard.
Let me ask
and
you a
you're
question.
real and
What
you're natural.
questions?
What questions? Well,
I don't remember.
Some of the questions I can't repeat those.
Yeah,
some of those were kind of private. But you're very enthusiastic and you're very sincere. You're very honest. You got a big sense of humor. A lot of people look at your charisma because it's flowing right through the camera. I mean, your energy, everything is just flowing in. They're saying, "I'm not that guy. I can't be him.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me."
Mm-hmm.
So how would you recommend someone, getting started, to taking the first step, to taking a big chance to them, because they're looking at you with this huge personality and say, I can't be that. What would you recommend to them?
They might just be looking at me saying that's a really bad angle for him. He looks like he should start taking some MLM weight loss products or something. But I mean, if someone says, that's not me, I can't do that. I heard you say that when you were interviewing the gentleman before me,
yeah.
Mr. Austin Zuloff. And if someone's saying that, like if I'm looking to this person in the camera and you're saying that, it's like, right. I mean, Austin's a 9th grade dropout from Kentucky. He just said it on film. I mean, I'm someone who was so broke looked up when I got into the industry. I was 30 grand in debt on my credit cards. My minimum payment was $900 a month. I was making about $1,500 a month. I mean, I was broke, I was nobody, and that's nonsense. Unless you truly believe that you're nobody, and you really believe like you're like, gosh, I'm not smart, I'm not anything, like then you probably should just drive Uber and practice your conversation skills, or just be happy like doing something else. But if you really have a fire in the belly, a dream, and you think you want something in life, network marketing is a great way to do it, because all you got to do is develop yourself, be real, make friends, have fun, attract people. It's not brain surgery. Brain surgery seems difficult and a lot of pressure. Like, could you imagine coming out, talking to the parents, like, oh, you know what, I sneezed, your kid's gonna not be able to talk for the rest of his life, or, be paralyzed on the left side.
Right.
It's like, sorry, that's pressure. Network marketing, it's not. It's like, come to the meeting. They come to the meeting, one of two things happens. They like it or they don't. Some will, some won't, so what next? I mean, you could learn this stuff in a minute. By the time we finish filming, they'll know everything they need to know.
Well, where else can you go where you can be mentored by millionaires like yourself, like Mr. Zuloff and so many wonderful people that you've introduced me to, and make brain surgery money, make the amount of money that you mentioned be a doctor, but to have an industry where we can come in and make this kind of money as what a brain surgeon would make. You know, if you put me in a room with a bunch of brain surgeons, you're going to be quickly, you'll be able to identify that I'm not the brain surgeon in the room. And yet, you know, this industry is so awesome to be able to get around people like you and to be mentored. You know, where can you go on God's green earth where you can sit beside someone and hear all this great advice? So,
well, I think there's probably other places, but this is one of the best. And I mean, look, we're here at GoPro. There's you know, it's fun to get the whole industry together. And I mean, there are thousands of people making 6- and 7-figure incomes. You know, a lot of people, all they know is their unemployed brother-in-law who bothers them. Like, they don't even want to be with him at Thanksgiving, let alone get into business with him. So I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's just feedback. If you invite someone to a meeting and they don't come, they're not saying no to the business. They're saying no to you. And a lot of times people train the opposite. They're not saying no to you, they're saying no to the business. Yeah, they're saying no to you. So the question is, how do you shift? How do you know, don't get bitter, get better. It is, you'll hear it time and time again. All this weekend at GoPro, people will be talking about it was personal development. I became the person that I needed to be. Once you become that kind of person, you'll start to attract the people you need to attract.
So a lot of times you think a lot of things that's holding people back is if they're having a hard time, or maybe if they're at a certain income, maybe the reason why they've stayed there is their personal development hasn't caught up or hasn't exceeded what they want to be. Would
Without
you say
any
that?
question, yeah. I mean, it's like every single person is exactly where they feel they deserve to be at. I mean, that's a little profound, but I think we can go there for this audience. They're ready, and that's where. So someone making a, you know, you look at the extreme example. A homeless person wins the lottery, and 6 months later they've blown all the money and they're homeless again. A rich person is bankrupt, and a year later they're a multimillionaire again. And you just kind of rise to your own level, and that's how it is. So what happens is, if you think you're worth 30 grand a year, you'll find a way to make 30 grand a year to survive, to pay the rent, to drive a crappy car, to tell your wife, you know, she can only order from the left side of the menu. But if you start believing you're 100 grand a month person, you know, then all of a sudden you're making 100 grand a month. And what's funny, I remember watching an interview with Grant Cardone and Alex Morton, you know, and then Alex Morton was talking about making 800 grand a year or something like that, and Grant Cardone says that's baby money, you know. And then you fast forward whatever it was a year later, and he's making, you know, 800 grand a month. And it's just a matter of shifting your perspective. I remember when I used to, you know, think at a certain level, and then I won a poker tournament, and I got sent to Necker Island, and I spent a week with Richard Branson, sitting there talking with Richard, and oh God, he's a cool cat, you know, just like me and you. It was just as easy as this conversation. And next thing I know, I'm like, wow, I should be thinking at a higher level. And then, so I thought it was so cool that he had an island. And then, of course, like, you know, within a year, we have an island. And it's like you can do anything you set your mind to. I guess, you know, maybe not fly without a, you know, some jetpack or something. But I mean, reality is, you know, they're in their own prison of their mind generally. And so in network marketing, we free people up. And that's what we do. And you meet someone and you give them hope, and then you put your heart and soul into mentoring them. And I just tell people, hey, work with winners, not whiners. You can make excuses or you can make money. You can't make both. A lot of people are like, oh, I couldn't do that. It's like, well, when you're ready to stop making excuses and start making money, then I'll be ready to start investing my time and energy into you. And so I have a kind of an opposite approach. I don't go around and start begging people to join. I'm like sorting through people, and every once in a while I run into somebody who I think actually might be worth investing my time in, who convinces me that they're ready, and then I'll work with them. There's no shortage of people that want to do network marketing. Most people just have a scarce mindset. Everybody wants what we have.
I love that. I love that. Just kind of like sifting and sorting, and sorting.
That's it.
I just love that.
Yeah, you get to pick who you work with, man. Don't be just working with anybody. Don't be begging people to join you. That's weak. Girls don't want to go out with the one who's, you know, begging to go out with them. They want to go with the one who doesn't have time.
They have confidence, right?
Yeah, baby, confidence. That's what it's all about.
You know, and I love that too. And I just, you know, we were talking to, you know, Mr. Zuloff, and we look at, he had credit card debt, right? And you were talking about how you came from nothing. You had payments, and but you started at the bottom. Just like Zuloff.
Just like Dre.
And worked at the top.
Drake.
Drake?
Started at
like
the bottom,
Drake?
now we're here. That's Drake.
We
baby.
get a hat flip. We
Yeah.
get it. So, but it's great to see where we are. And I'm looking so forward. I mean, we're going to be hanging out tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have some fun tonight.
We got a big party tonight. The
Big
VIP party for the people who aren't going to the real VIP party. And this is going to be like the mega VIP party.
Okay. And I get to go, right?
You are invited, and you are one of the hosts. You know, Vegas, let's talk about Vegas just for a second. And I mean, this is the best place to live in America, for those of you that are wondering. Let's talk about why. The reasons that Troy is moving to Vegas. Number one, if you're in network marketing, everyone will come to visit you. You will see everyone a couple times a year. Every single network marketer comes through Vegas for conventions, whatnot, a brother-in-law's bachelor party. They're going to be here. No one's going to come visit you in Portland, Maine. Has anyone ever visited you there? No one has ever come. No one wants to go there. They want to come here. There's no state tax. You can live in a ridiculous penthouse high-rise for the cost of a one-bedroom apartment on the East Coast. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. You've got stuff to do every single day. You're never bored. You can go play poker 24/7, 365 at about 1,000 places. You got every band comes here. Every great chef has a restaurant here. The dining scene is better here than New York, London. It's amazing here in Vegas. It's fun. There's a lot of outdoor things to do. I don't know if a lot of people don't realize this. There's Lake Mead. I went hiking the other day and jumped in a cold plunge. There's some kind of ritual that my Reiki master told me I would be freeing. Actually, it was just really cold. Then we ran up to this hot springs and sat there for like 2 hours. That was cool. People don't realize this about Vegas. You got skiing 45 minutes from here. I mean, you got Lake Havasu 2 hours from here. Vegas Tourism Board, no charge for that. Thanks for having me.
And I got to tell you, he's got the best real estate broker of all time. So, in my opinion, for this area, I should say. I got a couple friends in the room.
Yes.
Baltimore and stuff like that. I gotta be loyal to my buddy Chip McGill. But
okay.
Well, you got the connection, so you'll help people out if they come to Vegas. Can you help them out like you're helping me out? Can you help a brother out?
Yeah, anyone who comes to Vegas, just call me. I'll hook you up. I got you. Get you in the clubs without waiting in line. Like a baller and a shot collar. You know what I'm saying? Give me a holler, y'all.
Now you guys know why. I couldn't wait to interview Matt Morrow. So we love you guys. Thanks for coming. You're the best, man.